breeze blowing, storm clouds moving in. Whatever's gonna happen, it's about to begin. I remember what the drunk donkey told me when he said, son, don't fear. Mike's where the page life is about to appear. Then he's gonna tell you about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you which way it's going, and if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news they try to hide. Just click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Well, there'll always be some haters, but they don't understand that Mike's got a friend and 100,000 more across the land. Well, if you want to know it first and you want to know it right and you want to have time to plan, Drunk Donkey Nation tells you when Mike leaves you lane. Then he's gonna tell you all about the wind and the rain. Gonna tell you if it's gonna be a storm or if it's gonna be a hurricane. Don't you worry about the news others try to hide. Click on Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nationwide. Yeah, here at Mike's page, Drunk Donkey Nation Pride.
All right, what's up, everybody? Good morning. Cheers. We are live. That was a little bit of footage from Ida 2 years ago. Hurricane Ida. I chased that one, obviously. That was a lot of my drone footage with the flooding up there around, was it Laplace, I believe the official name? Northwest part of New Orleans, Laplace. So how's everybody doing? Let's talk tropics. It's Tuesday here, coming to you live from Oldsmar, Florida. Sandwich between Clearwater and Tampa Bay, right on top of the bay. We must have some new folks here asking about the song. That's Andy Simmons, yep. We got about 8 songs that he wrote. 8. I actually have a link on my site. I'll show you. You can go to them. I got them all on a YouTube channel. He's got 8 songs custom wrote just for our webpage. Can you believe it? Yeah, Cindy, those telephone calls. Hey, thank you, Tom. Yeah, I was on CNN last night. Anybody catch that? Erin Burnett. I really like her. Talking weather. Only weather. Internationally. One thing about it is every airport in the country has CNN on, so they get to see us representing Mike's weather page. Good morning, Miss Shelley Ross. How's it going? What's up, yo hell? Coneheads. Coneheads, we got to bring that back. We took a little hiatus from that. Coneheads is what we all named ourselves. We all tracked the storms. We're all a bunch of coneheads. Need to get one for. This is Hunter. I need to get like our conehead with the rubber band for the dogs. That'd be funny. In fact, I'm going to get that. I know Amazon's got it. So yeah, let's talk about Lee here in a minute. Hurricane Lee. Can you believe it? I joked online. It's been like day 169 tracking Hurricane Lee, right? Are people numb? I don't even think people care anymore. I just think people are. They don't even want to talk about Lee anymore. Lee has been on the radar now for weeks. It seems like it's forever. But you know, it's still going to be a big deal for the Northeast. I got a feeling. Not like bad, but bad and a half bad, maybe. So I promise we're going to go over everything. You got to be patient. We like to say hi to some folks, right? So our Daily Brew here, streaming since 2016. Now we are on Facebook, X, and YouTube. Welcome TikTokers. I'll be doing a TikTok video as soon as we're done here. Do their daily weather update. Our Daily Brew is a fun tradition. We do it even in the wintertime, springtime, fall time. Brought to you by great friends right here. ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. You say ABC? So if you're ever down in Florida and you're touristy and you're visiting, Google ABC and check them out. It's the most awesome store you will ever find. Promise you that. They're building new ones every day. So this is Lee right now. Got a lot of folks from the Northeast. This is what I usually do. I usually break things down. We're going to talk about all possibilities. I'm not here to fearmonger. I try not to hype. I'm not a real meteorologist. Put that disclaimer out there. I'm just a self-taught weather dude. So I'm just some dude with a website and a dog. But we got a good track record here, so I won't steer you wrong. Still think we're going to have some sneaky impacts up there for the Northeast. I'll tell you why here in a second. All right, we're going to let you down, buddy. Say bye. Let's talk weather now. Say bye-bye. He's the littlest Frenchie on the planet. He's only like 8 pounds. So yeah, it's still a massive storm. I mean, I just, like, everybody's done talking about it, right? It's still a major, I think it's a major hurricane. I don't know. 115, technically. Still a major hurricane. I mean, and the wind field is expanding big time. Cheers, everybody. Need my Louis in the morning. We'll have Louis tomorrow. So, track has gone north. No more out to sea. Somebody's going to get it. Northeast or Nova Scotia. Northeast is going to feel it regardless. Nova Scotia is going to feel it regardless. Remember, Fiona last year was on the other side of Nova Scotia, so it's going to be some different folks affected by this one. But anyway, slowly moving right now, west-northwest. Supposed to turn. Bermuda is definitely not going to get a direct hit, but they're going to be tropical storm watches and warnings probably by Thursday, I would think. I did a post this morning. You'll get 40, 50 mile an hour sustained winds, 20, 30 foot seas, it looks like, coming in on the backside when it's approaching, which would be later Thursday into Friday. So could be a rough overnight for Bermuda. But the big question mark is going to be, how much is it weakened as it makes that trek northward? There's a lot of buzz about water temperatures, a lot of buzz about the frontal line coming. So we're going to keep an eye on it. I'm going to show you a bunch of models and pressures and winds and throw in a few opinions of what I think could be happening. As Hunter's probably going to go over there and pee now. So everybody's doing great, it looks like. Appreciate that. Okay, Buzz Anderson on YouTube. I love your comment. There's a lot of unhype, meaning like it's going to be nothing, and I hope it's right. There's a lot of locals up there that say quit hyping a nor'easter. I get it. I don't know that area. Not me, just everybody. It's a little different. We did this last night, and I mentioned it on the show last night too. This is a different angle. There's not been a lot of storms like this. So if it makes the Euro has been going really west, which is very odd for the Euro to be wrong this kind of close. If it makes that little zigzag up into the Gulf of Maine there, it's going to be a really weird angle that we normally don't see. So I think the winds and the waves are going to be a little bit different scenario. So promise we're going to go over everything. I'm going to show you all the models here, all the possibilities. Again, it's kind of got a big, large eye wall. It's gone through a ton of eye wall replacements, and every eye wall replacement, it's kind of expanded the wind field a little bit more. It is, because it's moving so slow, it is doing a little bit of upwelling, meaning it's kind of using up all that warm water below, but the warm water is still hot. So that's going to be the question. How fast does it weaken? And I'm seeing pressure is still pretty darn low. I just have a big question mark that it's going to weaken as fast as some think it is because of the water. That wake that was left behind, here's Bermuda up here, by the way. So it's past Bermuda now. So it's pretty much a guarantee you won't get the heart of it. So, okay, Casey says Casey wants to know about Florida. Florida's just going to get winds or waves, pretty much waves. There's going to be some big surf later in the week. Bahamas is going to take a lot of surf here soon, but then Florida, believe it or not, are going to get 8, 9, 10, 12-foot waves right off the coast. Probably starting a little bit tomorrow, but Thursday, Friday for sure. So there you go. Sell out saying they're used to strong nor'easters. I was doing a lot of pressure checks though. So I did Google. Somebody's mentioned the perfect storm. This is nothing like the perfect storm, but the perfect storm was a 960 millibar system. I can't find average nor'easter pressures. I'm trying so hard. I didn't spend a lot of time at it, but the pressures is winds, low pressure, winds, and there's still quite a few models showing this thing around 960 millibar when it heads up that way. That's why you can't turn your back on this. I'm telling you, 950, 960 millibar is a very low pressure system. Low pressure means winds, and storms, and rains, and waves. So if this thing's around 960 millibar, you can't tell me that it's not going to be more impacts than some people thought. Now, if it shifts a bunch to the east, yeah, you won't get as much in the northeast. Guaranteed. But we have a ton of people watching in Nova Scotia. And the same holds true there. Strong system. And listen, there's another system out there, NBES 98. We'll talk about that at the end. All indications right now, majority are showing this thing doing a curve. So there's been a couple stray GFS runs, but if you're worried, if you're reading about NBES 98 and you're worried, or 97 is not even going to be around much longer. So there's really nothing else brewing. But we'll talk about 98. So don't think I'm not going to. It's just right now I don't see it. I don't know what to show you. Most 98 models are kind of recurving right now. Never say never. I agree, but. All right, here's the latest key messages from the lead. The bottom part's always important. Remains too soon to know the level of impacts along the northeast coast in Atlantic Canada. Since wind and rainfall are going to extend well from center, users should still monitor the forecast. So the main point is this. If you're new to tropical tracking, this is the cone. I feel like this is your brain. This is the cone. This is anywhere that the center of the storm can go. And this system's going to be really wide. So the cone isn't anything to do with who gets what. The cone is just where the center goes. So, a track here, this thing might be this wide by the time that it gets up there. So, you'll get winds and storms and rains well outside that center. And this storm specifically because it's becoming subtropical with the frontal line coming down, which actually adds a little bit of power too. So I had a shirt and collar on, Bill. Yep. Don't be worried, Douglas, about 98. 98 so far looks like it's going to be north of the Bahamas. I'm going to show you that in a minute. So K-Dog was looking at history too. I'm going to do that here in a little bit. I haven't seen a lot of storms angle in. Most of them come in like this. Well, let's pretend that's the map here. Most of them come in like whatever, because the camera's backwards. Anyway, it's a really odd angle coming in. Rainfall. Let me tell you, there's some big flooding going on up there right now too. They're worried about a dam. I just retweeted it. I did pull up some rain maps we're going to look at, but heavy rain up in that neck of the woods already. So that's a big concern, especially right now. Let me show you flooding going on. We got some flash flooding in the white screen. Anyway. All right, so let's close some windows here and we'll wait for that to pop up. Maybe it'll never pop up. Come on, NHC. Oh, anyway, I don't think it's me, it's them. But anyway, here's the deal. So we have back-to-back fronts going on. We got one right now that brought a ton of rain yesterday in the Northeast, and there's flooding. There were some videos coming out from New Hampshire, Vermont area. Very heavy rain. Look what's coming tomorrow. This is the secondary front that's lifting Lee, so even more rain tomorrow. So if Lee brings any more impacts to the Northeast, the ground's already saturated. Lee's going to be bringing winds well inland. Even if it's 30, 40, 50 mile an hour, we're going to have very saturated grounds. And Furman power equipment will tell you trees fall over a lot easier when the ground is saturated. And we're going to have some winds. This thing's going to be expanding. So this is flood map for tomorrow. All right, let's give the National Weather Service one more try. All right, everybody, 1, 2, 3. Everybody will it to work. There we go. Good job. All right, so here's the flooding going on. So we have a dam somewhere up here. I don't know which one it was, but one of these two has some serious flood warnings going on. But this is the area, doesn't need any more rain. So, all right, let's look at all the models. Now, this was interesting to me. So these just came out right before I hit the button. This is Levi's site, Tropical Tidbits. A majority of global models are still sniffing western part of Nova Scotia. Your hurricane models and Euro is far west of this. And the Euro is always trended west. And the Euro usually is not really that wrong. So the cone obviously is including this area. And these higher resolution hurricane models are showing a turn. So there's no guarantees right now. There's still a lot of confusion. A slower system. If you look at the 120 marks, 120, 120, slower the system, it's going to allow that high pressure to build back in and block. Now we're doing football. How about that field goal last night? I was actually watching the Jets and the Bills, was it? Then that dude had a run back. Man, that was amazing. But anyway, slower the system allows more of the high, and it's going to kick it back a little more west. And that Euro is really good with upper air patterns. So, all right. Here's your super ensemble blend. This is like, say that 10 times fast. All right. So these are all the ensembles of the GFS, the Euro, Canadian, and UK. And I try to color them so you can kind of see where they're at. So you can see all these orange ones are the Euro. And the mean here, let me bring them up here. Just show you how the Euro is so much trending west to everybody else. And it's been doing that a lot. Oh, they shipped my clown from Spirit Halloween. I can't wait. It's on its way. Can't really see that. Let's do heavy solid. Kind of see the, well, you kind of see the mean. Anyway. Euro's all Western biased. Really makes you wonder what it's seeing. It's seeing a slower system. High pressure moving in. High pressure moving in blocks our system, pushes it a little more west into the New England area. So that's, looking at it right there, that's kind of your NHC cone in a nutshell. So today's 12Z runs, as always, are going to be extremely interesting. I don't know, we might have an 18Z run coming out right now too. Let's see. All right, so we're going to go tropical tidbits. Let me see. I turned everything off. I'll show you what's going on. We're going to look at some high resolution stuff, some stuff I posted. I've been posting a lot about the wind maps and wave maps. That's going to be the big question mark, I think, for our system as it goes north. We can do some closer up. So let's do this. We'll do it this way for the GFS and the Euro. So let's watch the track here as it goes north. This is today, obviously. Let me just make it a little smaller here because I want to keep Bermuda in the picture. So here's tomorrow. Note the pressures, 931. That's very low. 939. It's going to be passing Bermuda with the low 940s. So by Thursday, we're going to start to see some of these storm bands reaching Bermuda. Likely be tropical storm warnings there. Good news is it's not a direct hit. Waves are going to be quite big though. Still going to be 25-foot seas, maybe more. 26. So there's going to be heavy surf in Bermuda as this thing passes by. Those are some pretty big waves. Euro's still predicting some crazy numbers as this thing goes up. So there's 955 pressure. And here's what the Euro's doing. This has got to keep your attention, saying it's not going to be nothing. And of course, you're going to have waves on the East Coast. We're going to show you that too, but I want to show you the heart of this thing. So if this thing does what the Euro's doing, so we're at a 960 pressure, still really low. Here's Cape Cod area. And that's pretty nasty weather. This thing goes east, you won't get that. If it goes here, you're going to get that. And this is Saturday, 8 a.m. You're going to start having strong winds from the north. Storms brewing. Winds can be quite strong. Look at these wind gusts. You know, hurricane force winds here as this thing passes by. Boston would be 60s. This is Saturday night. Makes even a closer pass. Makes you wonder. You know, it's just one model, but that's pretty darn close there to land. Now, a lot of these winds don't reach the surface when they become extratropical, but they're widening out, and it's 963 pressure. You can't tell me that this isn't going to be a more wind event than people were expecting. Nor'easters are, 970, 980, 990, right? 963 is still pretty darn deep pressure. That's low. Low pressure, big winds. And this means big waves across this Gulf of Maine area here. So this is Saturday, 4 p.m. It's all this weekend. I was watching Ginger Lee on my TikTok feed, and she brought up a good point. There's a lot of weddings going on right now, a lot of birthday parties this weekend in the Northeast. So it's a big concern for weekend plans. It's going to be very windy. And the Euro basically goes right into Maine. 967. You can't tell me that's not going to be normal. That's still low pressure. I'm telling you. Everything that I've ever learned in the tropics, low pressure is a lot to watch. 967 is nothing to say it ain't going to be nothing. It was, we were at 964 pressure at Perry. You saw that, man. We had trees snapping left and right. But talking points are it's going to weaken. And that's what you got to believe. I mean, like I said, always believe the NHC. They know a lot more than I do, National Weather Service. So they're saying it's going to weaken. But I live and die by the models, and that's pretty strong to me. Biggest story, too, I think, are going to be these waves. I'm going to get some better wave maps. So if the Euro's wrong, then yeah, we're going to see a lot less effects into New England. Just to show you the difference when the GFS goes pretty extremes. This is pretty much your two extremes. And realistically, it's not that big a difference. I think we have a distance planer here. Let's see if this works. I think this map, let's just do this. I'm kind of curious the difference in, let's see here. So let's try it again. Distance. Let's see, Doom. Does that work? Okay. Trying to do a second point. Click on the map to add more waypoints. Okay. I'm clicking on the map. Hey. 100, okay. About 170 miles. That's a lot. I thought it'd be a little less. But anyway, that's basically perfect right there if you think about it. There's about 150, let's say, 150 miles difference between tracks. And for all you math people, to come up with 150 miles difference. What is that? What's that difference in angle? A couple degrees. So again, it's, these are going to be things you're watching like a hawk, because it's all timing. See that little zigzag? It's all going to be timing of that front coming in. And the other thing I want to really bring up too is this: if it ain't slowing down, it ain't going to weaken like with the snap of the fingers. I've never seen a storm just go like that. So, however it performs by Bermuda on its trek north, if it's staying a little strong, then it's obviously going to be stronger to the north. But this isn't going to like stop and weaken. It's going to keep on moving, and that's going to push a lot of extra water towards the coast. Large systems push a lot of water. I don't care what category it is. When you have a 950, 960 storm, it's going to be pushing a lot of water to that north. And we got the Bay of Fundy up here. I have no idea what they're going to expect, but this thing goes right smack dab into that Bay of Fundy. There's going to be some pretty big flooding up there, you would think, right? So, all right, let's look at some questions. Eric, how wide? Well, right now, let's take a look at how wide it is. Whatever it is now, it's going to be at least a third to half bigger. It's been averaging about 400 miles wide. I haven't really looked at it in a couple days, but let's take a look here. Zoom out. Let's see here. Let's take a looky. All right. So it is about, holy crap, 600 miles wide. Jesus. 600 miles. My God, I didn't think it was that big. Even that's 550 right there. That's huge. It's going to get bigger. Is that even possible? That's a big talking point right there. Already big. So again, I think the NHC is starting to stress to people, don't focus on that center because it's going to be expanding. I don't think the models are really even doing a good job showing the rain maps yet. It's expanding out, but that's a pretty healthy looking wide system. I mean, that's almost 600 miles wide right there. That's 550. That's 650. Just doing the convection. So you could probably say it's 600 miles wide. You could tell people it's 600 miles wide. Now what the hell is this? Hang on a second. Why did I get a Google code? Somebody's trying to sign into something and I got a Google code. I wonder who that was. Somebody's trying to sign into something. Probably Julie. Oh, no. I don't know. I hate all this third party factor stuff. Holy shinkies. What does that mean, David? Invest 98 will probably be named, but like I said, it's very, very low confidence right now of any East Coast impacts, but it's not impossible. There's been a couple runs. We're going to do that here in a little bit. New system off Africa, yep, Invest 98. No chance of Florida getting hit. No. But this is pushing a lot of waves. All right, so let's look at let me show you what it's going to look like on these long-range models. This is tropicaltidbits.com. This is going to give you an idea how it's going to get bigger. And let's just keep it right here on the big map so you can see Invest 98 so we can get that done. So Invest 98's over here. This is 97, but 98's right here, and 98's going to absorb 97. This is Margot. We've been talking about it for 2 weeks. And this is Lee right here. So here's the latest Euro. This is on tropicaltidbits.com. Euro's still predicting it to get deeper, which is amazing. I don't know if it's really going to happen or not. Euro thinks it's going to become 930. I don't see how. I keep hearing people, geez, the Euro says it's going to be down to 915. But I don't. There's a lot of warm water in that Western Atlantic. I don't know if I totally agree that upwelling's occurring right now because we got, it's starting to make that turn, but it's also feeding off of these oranges and yellows, which is deep water. So again, it'll be interesting to watch because the euro ain't buying it. All right, so this is what's going to happen. Here's your Invest 98, basically getting going, and this is your 6Z. But there's your euro turned up in the main. Here's your Invest 98, and it recurves it. So one curve east of. You gotta remember the Bermuda high right now is pretty weak with all these systems out there. So last week, it looked like this might go a little more west because we thought these two systems were going to be out of here, allowing that Bermuda high to build back in. But Bermuda high is still there, or still weak. Invest 98 starting to feel that weakness and turn. So, but look at the size on the euro as it approaches the east coast. You can just see the growth. I mean, look at that. Compared to, let's see if I can draw a circle here. Let's see how good I am. I went to art class. Let's see here. There is that compared to that. So it kind of gives you the idea how it's going to expand. And point being is, even though without a direct landfall, there could be some big rain and storms inland this weekend for the New England area. And the reason the euro is believable, and it has been believable, is because of this. Slower system. I always hit the colorful one. I like this one. There's our front. This is Thursday. Slower system. Look what happens. High pressure builds back in and shows our system a little bit more west. That's been the theme from day one. Can't go west when there's a strong high pressure system off to your north and east. So that's why the euro's a little more trending west right now. It's a little slower than everybody else. There's a GFS, hasn't started feeling that high pressure yet, and neither has the Canadian. So the euro's a little slower. Key point. Car warranty time. Here is Friday for the euro. GFS a little faster. Canadian a little faster. Icon a little faster. So slower the system, the more that high is going to build in. And push it maybe a little more west. Seems very logical to me. So usually weather side is north and east. Correct, Roger. It's different about this system, and I don't know why. It's been very, 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 very consistent. Well, I do kind of know why a little bit. We got high pressure to the east, and that's kind of drying it out. But what's been the common theme with this from day one has been a western. This almost misses it here. Try a little better. Let's see if I can get a little more closer to New England here, or Nova Scotia. That's a little better. All right, so here's the icon. Now, the icon's not a very good track model, but look, it's drawing the center line through the center. Typically where you draw a center line. But look at such a huge difference in moisture, and this is being fueled by the frontal line that's coming down. So tons of storms and rains on the west side where you normally would see them on the east side. We saw the same thing with Idalia. We saw the same thing with Ian last year too. Strongest winds usually and waves typically are on the east side because that's the part that usually hits land first, wraps around, boom. But this system won't be hitting anything, so we're going to have effects into this bay, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But back to that point, here's the euro. Draw a center line through the center. Heavy rain on the west side. That's why the final angle is so important. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? Did it trend a little bit east? Maybe. It might have trended a little east again. 6Z might have went a little east. The GFS also, look at that, such a strong signature that the west side is going to be the wet, juicy side. So if you're in the Northeast, the good news is there's very few models showing a direct hit other than the Euro, maybe a couple of these high resolution models, which haven't been proven yet to be the greatest track models. Here's the latest halves A model. Look at that fast weakening. Boom. That's kind of what the forecasters are using for their NHC cone, is hurricane to subtropical like that quick. I mean, it'll be slowing down over those cold waters, but this is the latest Haas. Still goes right towards Maine and that bay area there. Latest Haas B. Same thing. Cape Cod's going to feel a lot of this no matter what. And here's the latest H-Wharf into the Bay of Maine there. So you still got 4 models hitting Maine. Let's see what the latest KMA is doing. Korean model, which did apparently pretty good last few years here. Oh, let's see, East Coast. I'll do the old pressure here. 12Z's running. How many hours? Darn it. It's running now. No new data on the KMA. It did shift a little bit more towards Bay of Fundy, though. So the zigzag's still there. The key is going to be when does it slow down and turn? So anyway, we got to trust the official wording at this point. I think that if the Euro's right, this thing's going to be weakening on approach, and we're almost going to you probably will still feel tropical characteristics before it reaches that Cape Cod area is what I'm getting at. So let's say the Euro is correct, and we go to 10-meter winds here. When we get to Cape Cod area right there, it's going to be close enough to feel pretty darn strong winds because it's going to be pretty close. Then it might start transitioning. So the question is, how long does it spin over that cold water? If it keeps on moving, it's not going to weaken very fast. It will weaken some as it enters. But the important thing to note is that upper level winds here, that's really hard to see. Let me start over again. So the 850, when you stretch out the 850, you can really start to see the winds aloft a little bit more and see how the winds might spread a little bit more inland when you look at the 850. So here's the 850 coming in. And this is a great example. So this is sitting right smack dab off the Cape Cod there. Purples are intense winds at 850 higher up than the surface. But watch, that's what I mean. That's what we talked about yesterday. On the approach, it's still going to be pretty strong. And it could still bring some heavy winds even as far as Long Island, because it still technically might be still tropical right now, meaning winds at the surface, tight center, And then you can see how right when it gets into those coldest waters near Maine, then it starts losing a little power. Still 967 millibar, though. That's what I mean. So it's tricky, man. It's tricky. This would be late Friday night, early Saturday, man. We could start seeing some of these big winds even getting close. That's You know, these are hurricane force winds approaching 960 millibar Saturday morning. Thought I saw a wave height. Here's wave height. Oof. I didn't even know he had it. I didn't even know Levi had it on there. That's pretty awesome, Levi. All right, so here is wave heights, and this is what we've been showing a lot of. These waves going into that Gulf of Maine here. So it's going to be coming in at a different angle. Not a lot of storms come in like that. If it does do that, it's going to have more time for wraparound winds that we normally don't see. If a storm's coming off of the coast here, and let's say it wraps around here, it's a little different setup with the winds as it's, if it's going by. I mean, this one's actually coming in more like this. So it's really curious, the wind flow, what it's going to do. Like I said, it's different. It's a different setup. And with, new moon on the 15th, and of course we're going to have surge, and we're going to have high winds on top of surge numbers. It could be quite the event here across this whole region with waves. And, I really think it could be. Looking back at the rainfall, there's been a tremendous amount of rain in that area these last several months, actually. Vermont had that big flooding incident not too long ago. Here's the rains, though. Let's just go back to the last 14 days. You won't even be able to see everything up there. It's got so much rain. So let me put on the state level here. You can at least see a little better. Thought so. Clicking the wrong one. There they are. Why did it take so long to load up? Well, hold on a second. Hang on. There it is. Didn't work the first time. Here's your states. Hard to see, right? There's Cape Cod. So this is that flooding going on right now in the red. But this is just the last 14 days, and they've had a lot of rain. 2 inches of yellow. So a lot of people have had 2, up to 4, up to 5 inches of rain in that area in the last 2 weeks. So any more amount of rain, let's see what the Euro shows for rain. Because now it's close. And you can see that rain map. Anything white, 6 inches, 7 inches plus. So heavy rain up into Maine again. So again, it's all track dependent. If it goes farther east, you won't get those rains. That'll be more of a Nova Scotia deal. And again, they had Fiona last year, but that was on the other side of Nova Scotia. This one's, heading smack dab up in the Bay of Fundy, which is going to be very interesting. Here's your rain map. Obviously showing Maine here too. So, all right, let me click the button here on 98. We already showed a bunch of models on 98, but let me leave it right there. So, all right, got to trust the NHC official forecast. It's getting within that 5-day window now. It's Tuesday. That means Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, things will start going downhill. Friday night. When can you start feeling winds? Right here. Great map showing you when you might start feeling tropical storm force winds. And, Friday night could start seeing tropical storm force winds in the green. Chances, are spread out, meaning more isolated chances, and a lot of that's going to be squall lines and feeder bands. Well, feeder bands, squall lines, I always mess them up. Feeder bands are tropical. But I like squall lines because that's what Jimmy Buffett said. Squalls out on the water. But look, at Friday night, you might start feeling rain start inching in along the coastline there, especially through the night. So Friday 8 p.m., you can start feeling tropical storm force winds early Saturday 8 a.m. because this system is going to be so big. It's already 600 miles wide. It's going to get bigger. So Saturday morning, you're going to start feeling tropical storm force winds all the way up into Canada. Even though landfall could be, look at landfall. Landfall technically is going to be oh God, it's doing that AST thing. What the hell does that mean? 2 a.m. Sunday. So tropical storm force winds are going to be almost 12 hours, almost 18 hours before, 16 hours before. I don't know. More than almost a day before. How about that? So even though we have a landfall maybe Saturday night, wherever it's going to be, somewhere up here, tropical storm force winds will be there as early as Friday night, Saturday morning. So big system. Wind field ought to be really massive. Let's look at the latest Euro simulated satellite. That might be cool to look at if it goes on East Coast. I don't think it will. I tell you what, let's look at it this way. Let's go to model and see simulated water vape loops. There's Asia, East Coast. Not where I wanted, but it's good enough. It really doesn't show you. Shows you that dry air though. Front. Hey, whatever's happening, we got a cold front coming down, right? This weekend, we're looking at 50s and maybe into Florida. Let's look at that. What the hell was that? My damn security camera goes off. I gotta change that, man. It wakes me up. Who the hell's poking around out there now? Temperatures. Check this out. Let's look at this, man. We got 60s and 50s this weekend. Here it is. We got to go rewind. Oh, no. Not as much as before. I blew that one. Oh, still 60s, though. But we had 50s. Now we don't see it as much. That's 60. Hang on. I'm going to find a model that shows it. Here's the Euro. 50s at least in the Carolinas. This is Saturday morning. Here's Sunday morning. I mean, that's still kind of good. Look at that. We got low 60s down here in Florida. See a little white, kind of whitish yellow area. 69 for Panama City. But we got low 60s. Isolated areas to the south. 50s through the Carolinas. So, yeah, it's not as... It's about 5 degrees higher than it was the other day. Canadians a little more aggressive, showing 50s down into low Georgia on Sunday morning. But hey, doesn't matter. It'll be dry. That's the reality. It's going to be extremely dry. Dry air. It'll feel colder. 72 to a Floridian feels like 50. Right? Right. I don't care what temperature. I just got to get a new fire pit. I don't have one. I got to find my fire pit. I got to buy a new one. Red Bull time. Got a few more of these left. Season's about over. All right, so... We'll see how the models do today. We got a new NHC update coming up at 10:30. Should be a lot of changes. I don't think they'll change the track much because of the Euro and those high resolution models. Oh, I did want to see one thing though. So the Euro is showing 960 range for final landfall, but let's take a look at what the HAFS is saying on landfall. So it's still 959 off the Cape. Is that what you locals say, the Cape? Is that wrong? Cape Cod, the Cape? Cape Cod? Still very, to me that is very low pressure. I don't care what, I don't care. Fire donation fund. Lance, you're the man. You always hook me up. Troy, I appreciate it, man. I'm more of a smoke guy. I did get my drone. I hadn't do anything with it yet. Sorry, I got to go help Julie getting her house, mom's house ready for sale, and I got to grind a electrical outlet and fix a light. Hopefully a drone later today. You can't tell me 959 is not going to bring big wins in wage. You can't tell me that. I just don't believe it. Not like category 5. I'm not saying that. But, you know, the one thing I did say on the news is I hate the word downgraded because everybody just thinks, oh, it's going to be nothing. But I don't think it's going to be nothing. I think there's going to be some surprise coastal effects. You know, we're not talking anything like, you know, end of the world stuff. We're just saying it's going to be a lot of wind, a lot of waves, a lot of rain. Could be some strong storms. 959, man, that's still low. What's the HAFSB saying? 964? Still pretty dang low to me. Surface winds are still pretty darn strong. So he hasn't made that transition yet. That's why I think the Cape Cod, haven't heard yet. I'm allowed to say the Cape. Okay, Cape's good, Maria says. Tom wants to know 98. So far, 98 is a very low threat. You have to go with... man, Siri got broken wrist too. I have no idea what I was saying. Oh, 98. So the Bermuda high is definitely going to be weak because of Margot and Lee. So if you don't have a strong Bermuda high, it's pretty safe to say anything with that high of latitude system is going to recurve. But right now, there's not very many. Very few models are supporting a track too far west yet. So we don't stop watching. It's just the fact that there's two systems out there right now has made the Bermuda high a little lower. So Joe Sardo, you're the man. All right, we're going to get Chimnea. And, you know, I got a lot of people from Nova Scotia worried, too. You know, they've had a lot of rain, too. So power outages could be a big deal. That's my second visitor of the day. Who's this? I don't know. Yeah, correct, Anthony. Yeah, I can't keep talking about it because when I see them, when I see official forecast showing subtropical storm, I got to be careful overhyping. And that's the truth. I just can't wait to see what it's going to do because then I've either wrong or right. Potential wave map. Daisy, listen, great question because I used to use my paid site, but Levi has it. I just found out. I didn't even know he had it. So if you go over here to Euro on the very top left of my screen, Euro, click on regions, click on Northeast, click on Euro, go over here to upper dynamics or lower dynamics, and click on Randy's got beer cooler. We're going to have a party. So lower dynamics will go to significant wave height, and then you'll see the approaching waves. You got to go to 00, and I hope you're writing this all down. Go to 00Z because it doesn't. The 6Z only goes out 90 hours. And there you go. That's the current waves. Now, obviously, you know, that's big. I mean, that's serious. But, you know, we've been talking a lot about the whole East Coast. Oh, we don't have wave height on the wider one. But we do. But anyway, well, let's show you that then because I got a lot of surfer dudes and dudettes. Was it the turtle? Was it the turtle that said dudettes? All right. So the big waves for Florida start to come in right there with the orange. That would be tomorrow night or tomorrow morning. So that's 10-foot seas just off the coast there of Florida. And that's all from Franklin. Watch this get bigger too. This is the wave field here of Franklin. Or what? Franklin? What the hell is Franklin? Lee. That's what happens halfway through the season, man. All these names become a blur to me. But anyway, we got them oranges reaching the East Coast here Wednesday tomorrow. Look at this. So then we get the reds getting really close. Oh, man. So that's going to be some serious waves of action for the Outer Banks. 20-foot seas just off the coast. Darker reds, 25-foot. This is Thursday. Purple, 30-foot. Going to get off. Man, it's going to be wavy out there, right? You don't have to tell me. OBX might have some trouble. And then, of course, there's our system expanding. This is 60. This is 60. This one just came out. But there's the size. So look at the size difference. There. Look at that size there, right there, compared to right there, where we're at now. That massive system. That's a wave map. You guys rock. Alton. I will. Hey, since all the YouTubers are doing it, we need to name it. We'll call it the fire tube since we got YouTube. So I'll be sitting out there at the fire pit. Say, I'm here at the fire tube. Shout out to Shelly. Hell yeah. YouTube name a fire pit. Well, it's kind of weird fire tube. But if I get a chimney, it's a fire tube because those things are bad, man. It's like a MJO, man. It just convection rises, man. So we'll call it the MJO. We'll call it the Mojo pit. The Mojo tube. The Mojo tube. The Mojo tube. Denise, I'm so dumb. I don't even know where Bay Harbor is. Every time I do a new storm, I've never covered a storm for you guys up there, so I don't even know. Is that part of the Gulf of Maine? Kind of Maine, right? I see it. I see you close to Bangor. Everything's this weekend. You know, you're gonna start feeling the effects. Possibly late Friday night, but definitely this weekend. Depending on the track, obviously, but yeah, you're right smack dab in the middle of it, man. You know you got a lot of tracks kind of coming your way, so we'll start getting some more higher resolution models for you soon, but. Start feeling rain bands overnight Friday. Here's Saturday morning. So there's your heavy rain bands really starting to set up Saturday morning. And then really heavy rains overnight into Sunday. And then actually, if it makes landfall by you, it'd be more like overnight Saturday night into Sunday. Worst if it's obviously on approach. This would be a bad track for y'all because the winds are going to be coming in this way. So you'll have a lot of beach action as our system comes by. But, I would think the Euro would almost adjust a little bit more to the east, maybe. It just seems like it's been the outlier. I can't tell you how many times the Euro's been the outlier. It's been very rare. Now, what happened with Ian, it was the outlier. All the other models were showing North Florida Panhandle at one time, and the Euro was the only one showing a turn. So that's important to note. The Euro is really good when it comes to reading upper air patterns. Very good reading upper air patterns. Very good. Good. This is a good map. Kind of shows you your ensemble mean kind of thing. Kind of just shows you the general blend of blue where most of the models are showing landfall. UK has been trending about the tip of Nova Scotia there. Canadian's been a little farther. The Canadian's been more east. Euro's been really spread out, man. The Euros, I've never seen a Euro that confused. GFS has been Bay of Fundy, the tip there. You know, the one thing they're stressing, and I can't stress it enough too, is the center won't mean much with a system that is expanding. The wind field is going to open up big time, and we're already seeing it now with our system. One of the old Boat US sites working. Oh man, let's see here. Boat US Hurricane. They used to have a really cool link here, which I might have to add here. Let's see. They used to have a map right here. Hey, it's back. This will be good, not now, but this will be good as our storm approaches, because it tells you how big the winds extend out from the center. And you can always read that in the NHC discussion too, which is really interesting. So if you go to public advisory actually and read the public advisory, it'll tell you how far out the winds go. This discussion outlook. Hurricane winds extend out 80 miles now. 80 miles. Tropical storm force winds 185 miles from the center. So we measured it 600 miles wide. Technically, it's almost 400 miles wide of tropical storm force winds if you do it that way. Almost. But everybody always asks that, so there you go. It's on the public advisory discussion outlook. So there you go, everybody. You know, again, I always suggest at this point in the game, always click on the National Hurricane Center. Always click on their key discussions down here. They're going to keep you up to date. Everything else I do is speculation. You can. Sometimes it's just too much for some, and I get it. But things I'm watching for is this tick west, and does it really? My number one question, and I not like I'm excited, but I can't wait to see what 960 millibar pressure actually means up there, because there's a lot saying it's going to be very weak, and I just don't buy it. Hey Don, I don't know yet if I'm going up or not, but I do want to go. I was looking at flights. If I have a successful day with Julie today doing her house, her mom's house, then hey, first off, we got somebody on YouTube, Southeast Massachusetts Magazine. Thank you for that. If you've never been here, Skituate. What the hell does that mean? Lance wants to know about the Euro outlier. I see it with the high pressure. Totally makes sense. If our system doesn't move as fast as it's supposed to move, then that high pressure is coming in and it's going to block it and it's going to go a little bit west. Kind of what we saw with Sandy. High pressure came in. Some models had to do this. Some models do that. Now, Sandy's a different beast. Not comparing it to it, but some of these higher resolution models are kind of showing the same thing. That's something to really pay attention to. You know, the latest HAFA is doing this little bend. This is the HAFS A model. These are the model trends on that. You can see it's kind of believing what the Euro is doing with that sharp bend west before, zigzag back before east. And the HMON is the only one not buying it. And the HMON was doing good early tracking, so we'll see what it's doing now. But there's the HAFB too. So you have basically three models showing that type of zigzag, a little more extreme west. But it's Tuesday. You know, we forget we still have all day today, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 more days that things can wiggle a little bit. So nothing. I mean, like I said, we've been tracking Lee now for 169 days. It's like, and the track's been pretty darn good, actually. Well, there was a lot of out to seas not too long ago. So I'm going to look back because there was a buzz about last week that it wasn't going to affect anybody. So and it all came down to Margot with the high pressure building between Margot and Lee. And like I said, the Euro does a really good job reading upper air patterns. And this is all coming down to high pressure. So I think the Euro's onto something. But anyway, thank you, Beth. What's up, Robert Moore? Lobster roll. Anyway. So it's been an hour. Appreciate it. I will post the interview. I will, Anthony. I just got the link today. Florida rain, nope. But, well, no. We do have Florida rain today. Look at this. This is normal rains. Look at Storm Prediction Center today. Storm Prediction Center showing dark green. Who saw that amazing lightning storm yesterday in Middle Florida? Oh my God, it was so unbelievable. I turned the turn signal on in Julie's car, you know, and the camera pops up. I could see the lightning in the camera to my south. So, hey, afternoon thunderstorms are back in Florida. Where'd they go? I don't know. Frontal line number one. I'll tell you what's interesting, too, with this whole weather pattern that we're in. We got BOGO fronts happening, right? Check this out. So, here's the deal. Right now, this front is what we got, bringing a lot of rains. This front's the one coming that's going to give the final push that's going to pull up Lee. So, if we go to tomorrow, there's our new front overtaking old front, and then by Wednesday, or Thursday, look how strong that frontal line is. And that's going to bring even more rain to the northeast. But Hurricane Lee, man, it was supposed to be up here, and it's not. So if it dilly-dallies around and that front weakens up and that high builds back in, that's where we got a problem. Dilly-dally. So anyway, let's look at the high-resolution radar for today. I'm curious now since we're talking about it because I think we had plans today. I don't know if we did or not. Let's see here. Simulator radar. There's your afternoon poppers. Right on cue. Boom, 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 boom. Then they go away. It's so awesome. Weather's badass. Look at that. So tomorrow morning at 5 a.m., nothing. Because everything ran out of energy. Look at what it's going to be like this afternoon. Big old thunderstorms. Probably have a lot of lightning again, too. Let's see what the lightning looks like. Yeah, we're going to have some good lightning. Lightning indicates thunderstorms, too. So that's why we have SPC in dark green across the middle part of Florida today. And I got a lot of windows open. Is it ever going to rain the Panhandle again? Katie, weren't you asking for it to stop? Eric, Dorian stalled. Yes, right over the top of Bahamas. Salem? Oh, Shelly, is that where the witches were? Are you one of the Salem witches? Was that the Salem witch area? That, I don't know. There was a movie like that, I thought. Jennifer, the thoughts behind Lee. Yeah, that's MS98. Now I'm not seeing it having a very good chance. Cindy, yeah, we've been on the cruise twice together. And we've met at some meet and greets, too. So we've met 4 or 5 times now. Speaking of cruisers, listen, if anybody's new to our page, we do a weather cruise right here, MWP Cruise. 3rd annual's coming up. If you like to cruise, please cruise with us, man, because we have the most awesome time. We got 100 people, 120 people last time. It was great. Everywhere we went, we had fans, partied it up. We have a lot of fun stuff we do. Seminar. I love it. I do a seminar on the ship. We do a Q&A. Talk weather for an hour or 2, and it's awesome. Shelly prints up these beautiful certificates of completion for Hurricane Preparedness 2024, and you can use it as a write-off if you're in the industry. And you can bring your family, too. Jen, it will miss Bermuda. It's going to pass by Thursday. Probably have tropical storm warnings there. Maybe watches today. No hurricane, though, for Bermuda. It looks like it's going to be tropical storm only. Robert wants to know, where am I leaning to? Well, usually systems start accelerating pretty fast. But the Euro, it's not a very strong front coming. We just saw that with the temperature gauge. So I don't know if I buy the extreme west track, but I think it's still going to go west of Nova Scotia just a little bit more. And, you know, my biggest unknown, not so much as track as the intensity. I just can't believe 950, 960 millibar system isn't going to bring bigger winds than what's some are showing. And waves especially. Lower pressures bring low waves, big waves. So that's a big thing. Crystal wants to know, when do I think it'll land in Nova Scotia? Well, definitely going to be later Saturday. Just a tropical storm. That's a tough one. I think it's still got a chance of being a little more than that, but Fairies, nope. This is my gig in the summer. You know, Jimmy Buffett said he loved his job. It's my summer gig, man. I worked hard my whole life. Julie supported me for many years. She was manager at Publix 30 years. So, but yeah, I love this, man. I do. I live and I mean, I wake up at 5:30 looking at models and go to bed at midnight looking at models. So I actually feel guilty when I take time off because I feel like I don't know what's going on. That's why I have Starlink in the truck now. I always want to have my internet. All right, cool. All right, we'll let you know about later. If we do later, it'll be 6. I'll let you know, Shelly. Probably, if you're up to it, might as well. So, there you go. Susan, thank you for the stars. Gotta have a nap, Roger. Yeah, I didn't get mine yesterday. What pub sub? What does that mean? I did an update at 2:11. Oh my God, was that my did the app go off at 2:11? I think that was the app problem. I noticed mine did it too. If it woke you up, I apologize. I don't think I was up that late. Did I do one at 2:11? Oh, maybe I was awake. Was I up at 2? That confirms I need a nap. What did I do at 2? Hell, I don't even know. I did, because I went to Monday Night Football. So I probably did. Oh, I did. I did the 18Z Euro, didn't I? Yeah, 4 hours ago. Holy crap! Did I sleep last night? Yeah, the last post I did was the 18 or Euro ensembles or something. Oh well, all right. Barbie wants to know about Bermuda High. It's weak right now because of those 2 storms out there. So we have a weak Bermuda High, meaning chances of anything going west right now are low. A lot of football games, Corey. I do know that. Amy, you grew up with who? Kemp? Buffett's the man. God, it's hard to believe he had skin cancer. It made me want to get my I haven't been to my dermatologist or whatever you call them people. I used to go all the time. I just wrote me a note to make an appointment because of Jimmy. I had my first colonoscopy because of, my dad and Drew Garabo, because he was on the radio always talking about how important it was. But now I need to make sure I go back and get my skin checked. So do it for Jimmy. Cool. All right. Well, thanks everybody for watching our Daily Brew. We really appreciate it. We're going to be live all winter. We're probably going to do Tuesday, Thursday this year. We got a lot of projects we're going to be doing in the off season, trying to get ready for next year. So I don't want everybody sick of me. So, but we're live every day, except for Talladega weekend, which is coming up. I have to go to Talladega. There has to be no storms. Please, no storms. But I do have Starlink, so I do feel a lot better because before I didn't have any internet going to Daytona or Talladega. All right, well, have a great day, everybody. Think of me. I'll be sweating here for the next couple hours. See you at 6 p.m. tonight, Eastern, ET, not EST, ET.